Hey there, what's next? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, day 928 of What You Have to Know, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world of businesses, lots of different businesses, and over a quarter century in corporate America, to the online world. Part of my divorce made it possible for me to say goodbye to everything I was doing and hello to what do I want to do for the first time in my life. I mean, what do I really want to do? Because prior to that, I was living vicariously through other people and paying attention to what everybody else thought I should do. Ever done that? Even though it felt terrible, I was doing what I thought I should do to be a good person, to be a good mom, to be a good wife, to be a good entrepreneur, to be a good business owner, to be a good corporate citizen, to be a good manager and leader. Everybody else's expectations all jumbled together, creating a mess of how I thought I should behave versus, and a lot of it was how I thought I should behave. There was a bunch of it that was like just going through the motions of living a life that didn't feel like it was 100% mine. So now my life's 100% mine. What am I going to do with it? Today, Get Up and Go Challenge, day 13. For the third day in a row, I've gone over 11 minutes. Now, my original objective and goal was to say 10 minutes or less for every day's lesson. And I'm doing that on purpose. Lots of people do very long, very in-depth challenges, an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours a day, or they do workshops. I love workshops, but there's a difference between a Get Up and Go challenge and a here's the specific skill we're going to learn workshop. And so I told myself at the beginning that I wanted to do 10 minutes or less every single day. And the last 3 days I've gone 11 minutes. And it's because I'm telling more stories and giving more examples. And so I have to balance, are the stories valuable enough to keep it under 10 minutes? Or I just have to get a great big timer and watch my time so that I know when I'm getting close to 10 minutes. All right, Get Up and Go Challenge today was about what's next. How often do you catch yourself thinking, what's next? What do I do now? I don't know what to do. I don't know how. I don't know what to think. How often do we catch ourselves in those loops, those negative questioning loops, where they're not really going to lead us to where we want to go? But what next? What do I do now? How do I take action now? Is a perfect question for Get Up and Go. It's like, what is the next step? What is the next thing I can do right now? And I say, do what you can with what you've got right now. One of the most powerful things you can remember is that you always have choices and options. There's always something you can do, even when you feel like your back's against the wall and there's nothing you can do. It's just a matter of flipping the switch and changing the way we're perceiving something, the way we're looking at something, the way we're seeing things, because they're usually not as we see them. We're filtering everything through our own experiences, through our own past challenges, through our own fears, through our own beliefs. And sometimes those are not great filters. We'd like to think they are, but sometimes they're not. How often are you chugging along doing something and all of a sudden something that happened when you're in like second grade pops into your mind, and it's not your mind, but your subconscious, and starts making decisions for you. So now all of a sudden your 7 or 8 year old self is dealing with a situation that you really need your big girl panties on for. You really need your adult reasoning and all the experiences you've had to come up with the best decision. But the 7-year-old is back there telling you, well, remember in second grade when your teacher said this about you. And you're like, where the hell did that even come from? And guess what? We like to think that at some point in our life, like at a certain age, we're going to have everything all figured out. But the truth is, we aren't. We're going to continue to figure out and grow and become until the day that we depart the planet, until the day we die and transition. We're going to be having experiences and having things happen that are here to teach us and show us something. And I guess the faster we learn the lesson, the more lessons we can learn, the less we have to repeat the same one over and over again. I used to be the queen of repeating lessons. Now, I was very creative. I believed that I should never make the same mistake twice, so I didn't make the same exact mistake over and over again, but I made a mistake that was so similar in circumstances or meaning or the lesson I was supposed to learn that I just kept doing it. And it got so crazy and so old. And it wasn't until I finally start opening up my eyes and seeing, okay, what the heck is going on? Why do I keep getting this same type person coming into my life? Why do I keep finding myself in this similar situation? Yeah, each time it's different, but the situation is the same. I'm out of work, I don't have a job, or I'm having trouble with a certain type of vendor, and it could be for 6 different businesses, but I would find I had a vendor challenge in each of those 6 different businesses. Was it that I had a vendor challenge, or I wasn't doing a good enough job picking the right vendors and having backup vendors? So once I learned that the process that I needed to put in place was my responsibility and I could solve it and figure it out, I never had another vendor issue with any of my businesses ever again. Why? I wasn't solely dependent on a vendor or a person or a partner or a customer. Some of those are hard lessons learned. So what next is an incredibly powerful question that's always in my repertoire. What's next? What can I do with what I've got right now? What's next? What can I do with what I've got right now? Keeps me moving and in action and momentum. Does it mean we always make the right choice or decision? Heck no. I would say most people that are successful would admit, if they looked at it, they would really admit that they have failed far more times than they ever succeeded. Guess what? You can fail 10,000 times. Ask Thomas Edison. And it only takes the one time that you succeed for people to remember. People don't remember all the struggles and challenges and the work you put into something until you succeed. They only see your success, and they forget about all of that you've done leading up to that. It's up to us to remind them. It's up to us to remind people. And I guess at 928 days, people will understand, yeah, she was definitely not an overnight online success. They forget about our journey. And that's part of why I'm documenting my journey, is because I don't want to forget about all the work and effort and steps it took to achieve what it was that I want to achieve. And it's different for each of us, but guess what? Every one of us are going to have to go through and grow through what it is we need to know and who we need to become in order to create the things that we want in our life. It's true of every area of our life, whether it's our physical well-being and our health, or it's our relationships, or it's what we're here to serve and to show up as and to do in this world and in this lifetime. It applies to everything and every aspect of us. So what next? Great question. Love to know what you think of this question, what next, and what your experience has been with it. Are you a person that is just waiting for things to happen in your life, or are you like me, you're out like meeting it head on and saying, okay, that didn't work, that was an epic failure, okay, what did I learn, what do I do now, what can I do now, or what can I take from that I learned and turn it into something better and eventually get it to succeed. So Get Up and Go challenge today, what's next? And it's all about just picking another area of our life to work on and go through the SOAP model another time, the SOAP framework. Love the SOAP framework. It's so easy, and it just becomes automatic. And guess what? It's one of those things, one of those tools you're going to use your entire life. Either you do something with intention or you do it by default. I have found my life turns out a lot better when I do things with intention. And if I can take a framework and I can install it in my subconscious, I do things with intention automatically. How cool is that? Way better than having to think about it every time. It's kind of like dealing with negative thinking. Everybody's like, think positive, think positive, think positive. But the truth is, we are so inundated with the negative, we have like 80,000 thoughts a day. Tell me, who has time to consciously think positive on all 80,000 thoughts? You might be able to change 100 of them a day or something, but for the most part, the other 79,900 are going to be negative whether you want them to or not, unless you can install an automatic filter in yourself that changes the way you automatically deal with those negative thoughts. Same with the SOAP framework. We want to install it so that whenever a change or a challenge or an obstacle or a failure or a situation comes up, we automatically deal with it in the best way to ensure and guarantee the best outcome for you, the best outcome for me. That's what I've done, and it's made my life so much less stressful and so much more fun. And guess what? I don't even have to think about it anymore. I only think about it when I'm teaching it in the Get Up and Go challenge. Otherwise, I don't consciously think about the framework at all. It just operates in me 24/7 and guarantees that I get the best possible results in any given situation for me. Not maybe for my sister or my cousin or my granddaughter or my son, but for me. Guess what? The results that matter the most in the whole wide world are the results that you get for you. So, what next? Love that question. Loving the Get Up and Go challenge. I just started doing it this year during COVID, and it has been so much fun. It's so much fun to watch people light up and know that no matter what and how bad the circumstances sound, there's always something that they can do. There's always something you can do. There's always something I can do. Even if we think we can't do anything, there is always so many things we can possibly do. We are so much more resourceful and so much more creative and so much more amazing and genius than we ever give ourselves credit for. It's crazy. Fun challenge today was about creating a tool, your own tool, either real or imaginary. And of course, I pulled out my pink toolbox, because shouldn't everybody have a pink toolbox? No, they shouldn't. The only reason I have a pink toolbox is during my divorce, all the tools went to my ex-husband. Not intentionally, but that's just what happened as we were cleaning out the house to sell. So no tools for me. So I remembered that I had gotten, I don't even remember if I got it as a gift or if I bought it, but I have this one pink toolbox. Guess what? It's got everything I've needed so far in it to function. I don't need tools very often. Sometimes I need a hammer because I want to break up some ice or something. Sometimes I need to hammer a nail in, whatever. If it's really complicated, I'm going to get somebody to do it for me, let's be honest. I'm not that handy anymore, especially as my vision has gone down the toilet. So there's probably certain things I should not be doing. I shouldn't be drilling holes. Probably drill into an electric socket or something. So pink tools, it was about creating an imaginary tool, seeing things differently. How often would our life and our beliefs and our attitude change if we just looked at a situation from a different perspective? Have you ever gotten in a car accident and you automatically responded and flew off the handle because you knew it was the other person's fault, and they stopped you in your day, they wrecked your day, they ruined, a car accident or an illness or a diagnosis? There's certain things that stop you in your tracks. Car accidents are one of those things. Blizzards are another one of those things. And we have no control of them. I have no control over a blizzard, right? I do have the ability to control how I respond to that blizzard. I can still show up for the job interview. And if I'm going to be late, I call, say, hey, I'm going to be late. Want me to still come in? I'm on my way. I'll see you in about an hour and a half. I've been driving for 2 hours and I'm only a third of the way there. That's a true story, by the way. I actually got the job, which is even more amazing. So, have you ever responded in a way that you didn't like, that you didn't respect yourself for? Yeah, I have. We're all guilty of that, right? We're human. We're continually improving, evolving, and growing beings. And sometimes we make mistakes. Like every day we make mistakes, and that's okay. So, looking at things differently and seeing things differently is so powerful. Just looking at, like, I'll tell you, I have a totally different perspective and appreciation and gratitude for magnifying glasses, especially those with lots and lots of lights. They're awesome. They make it possible that I can, figure out what this says. Soap. Now I know what it says because I made it, but they make my life function. If you would have asked me 10 years ago what I thought about magnifying glasses, it would have been total indifference. I wouldn't have cared. I didn't even think about magnifying glasses 10 years ago. But now they make my life work. So it so often is so powerful to just take a deep breath and say, all right, this is how I'm reacting and feeling. How could I respond to this situation? How else could I look at this? And it just gives us pause to behave in a way that we feel better about. It's like when you get that mean post in social media, or you get a mean email from somebody, or a letter. Goodness gracious, does anybody send letters in the mail anymore? Or if you get a complaint, a customer complaint or something, depending on what you do, or somebody complains about you at your job, if you're working, or if you're working from home, gee, since we did this working from home thing, or they're just complaining about something. Instead of joining in and just getting negative, just think, well, okay, I hear what you're saying. What else could be happening here? What else could be going on? Maybe they are working from home. They hate working from home. They've got 8 kids. It's like chaotic zoo time at their house. And their wife is also trying to work from home. And the kids are, running amok because they're bored and frustrated and they don't know what to do. Well, maybe that's what the problem is. It's not really that they're upset with you at all. So we need to just keep things in perspective. So fun challenge today was all about that. Supersize your business, and my crazy idiom today was cool your heels. So of course I have ice and a pair of, I put it in a glove so it wouldn't melt before I take it upstairs, a bag of ice and heels from my daughter, because I haven't worn heels for at least a decade, at least nothing short of a wedge. I've worn some wedges on a couple of occasions. For the most part, heels are not in my repertoire anymore. So that's it. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm also doing two other people's challenges, which are really fun. I love doing other people's challenges, but it makes for a very busy day with the granddaughter and the challenges and my own challenge and my own content. It makes it for a busy day, but I love learning new things. I'm one of those people that's always learning, always growing, and trying to hone my skills so that I can serve other people better. So doing some fun challenges. There's some more next week. I don't know if I'm going to do them or not, because one I'm doing is a 21-day challenge, and so far it hasn't been a big deal for me at all because I'm already doing the thing that the challenge is about, but I'm just going through it to say, okay, what am I missing? Am I missing things? Are there holes? Are there things I could be doing better or continually improve in this process? And so sometimes that can be labor intensive, sometimes not. Depends. So far it's been pretty easy and pretty mellow, but the other challenge has been not a lot of physical work at all, but a lot of asking yourself questions. What's next? Am I really doing and being and showing up in a consistent way that's right for me? All right. That's it. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, or if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow to report in on my transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world. What's working, what's not, lessons learned, things to think about. And I've got some personal work to do because I need to really hone in on what it is I'm here to do, who I'm here to serve, and what I want to do about that. All right. Have an awesome day, and I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.